Stop saying what you gon' do till you do what you said. When you opened that Bible, you knew what you read. You felt it deep in your soul. The promise did not expire. Be inspired.
I can see beyond the tears you cry and the pain you feel. I saw every hill you had to climb just to make it here. When you say you ain't afraid to die, is it faith or fear?
Yo, what's up, people? I'm your host, Jay Will, and I would like to welcome you to Inspire God's People, where we balance faith and business to guide you to your purpose. Today, I'm going to talk about really quickly three reasons, three reasons why cryptocurrency is not a scam. So this is for the people who are into investing. Maybe you've been like kind of on the fence, not understanding really what crypto is. I could tell you before we start, I did an entire other episode called Cryptocurrency. I can talk, people. You know what it is. I can't talk. Cryptocurrency for regular people, not for dummies, just for regular people. So if you want to understand a lot more about crypto, the background, exactly what it is, you might want to check out that episode where I kind of break it down just for your normal everyday person like myself, you know what I mean, that maybe can't follow all the crazy technical analysis and things like that, just a really kind of layman's term explanation of crypto and NFTs. But today I'm gonna give you three reasons why it's not a scam. Now, first, before I give you reasons why cryptocurrency is not a scam, first we got to address the elephant in the room. You know what I mean? Like, why do people think it is a scam, or why could it be a scam? Let me just take a quick break before we do that and give my disclaimer. This is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not take this video as like some guide to go and then start investing all your money. You are responsible for your investment decisions. I would advise you to go and see a financial advisor before you go around taking money and investing, especially if you're a beginner and never done that. But my goal is just to talk through, give some opinion, and maybe like some beginner steps around just how to even think about this stuff. Because I think what happens in the world is that the world moves fast. You feel me? The world is in warp speed, fam. And it's really hard for a lot of us to keep up with all of the developments while they're happening. And then what happens is we miss it until it becomes like world news or a big thing or trendy. And let's be real, by that point, a lot of the real money already been made. So again, let's kind of talk about why would someone think that cryptocurrency is a scam. And the first thing first is that, you know, the underground decentralized nature. Let's just be real. Like, this is something that exists outside of our current system. And it's kind of like, you know, it's kind of niche, kind of like hippie-ish or something like that, where it's like, yo, Bitcoin, like, I don't know, fam, cryptocurrency. So that whole underground nature and the fact that it's outside of our normal system, meaning like the way you transfer money encrypted and the wallets is something new. And so if we just being real, whenever we get something new, it feels a little scamish. You know what I'm saying? Make your skin crawl a little bit. Like, yo, why you giving me encrypted numbers and saying transfer this to a wallet? So for everyday people, that kind of give you a little red flag. And if I'm being real, I can't blame you. Then from there, the second reason why you might consider it a scam is just the simple fact that you came across cryptocurrency by way of meme coins. So think Dogecoin. That's what we'll use. Shiba Inu. You know what I'm saying? And so those meme coins, they have no value, like no real world value. They don't even have any digital value or use case. It's just people investing and buying and selling at various prices. And then you come across your one cousin that, you know, made $100,000 or $10,000 or something crazy. And then that creates FOMO, fear of missing out, you know, investment term there. If you're not kind of used to hearing that all the time, it's pretty normal if you're in the investment world. But, you know, this whole idea of FOMO, you know, you see or hear somebody that won some money because it's kind of gambling, you know, in that sense with these meme coins. And then you throw your money in, and then what happens? Let's be real. You put your money in there and you're down 90%. You put $1,000 in there thinking you was going to make $100,000 the next month, and your $1,000 right now is $56. And that's just being real. You know what I'm saying? You got $56 in the account, And so it's easy for you to be like, yo, this is a scam because you came across crypto on some meme coin stuff and you saw your money get lost. You know what I mean? And now you're done with it. I wanna slow it down, pump the brakes, family. You made a bad financial decision because you started investing without being educated on something. And so, one of the things that I'm trying to do, especially with this cryptocurrency topic, is let's actually figure out what it is. Because a lot of times, what happens when you're from where I'm from, right? And the content I create is typically for people, to some degree where I'm from. Either you are a believer, so you come from the Christian world, and you're trying to understand some of these new financial systems and things through the lens of a believer, or you come from the hood, poverty, less than, you know what I'm saying? You're not someone who was born into money, and these terms are just everyday normal to you. You didn't know how to invest. Like I didn't know how to invest, 4 or 5 years ago. I wouldn't have known how to invest in a stock or things like that. And so I try to take some of the things that I've learned. I put in hundreds of hours of studying this stuff and kind of sharing with people in the most basic way possible. So that's what we're doing here. So the first two reasons why cryptocurrency, you might consider it a scam. We talked about the underground, decentralized nature of it. It's kind of like the dark world, like you don't know what's going on. The second thing is meme coins. And then the last part, let's be real, the third one before we get into the three reasons it's not a scam, is the fact that, lack of regulation, right? And you first got to step back and try to understand why regulation doesn't exist yet, what the purpose of regulation is, so on and so forth. And what has also happened is that scandals have been created. So if you're somebody that just reacts to headlines, as an example, you're not going to be someone who really makes some real money. I'm going to just be real with you. People who react to headlines, positive or negatively, are typically folks that are not following the day-to-day, because the headlines are just really reflective of day-to-day. If you're in a particular bubble or world, you kind of had an idea. Now, there are things that catch everyone off guard, but let's deal with some of the scandals in cryptocurrency that have happened in the past year in particular. The biggest one, at least arguably, is Sam Bankman-Fried and FTX. So you have this multi-billion-dollar business where you find out it was a scandal. They were taking people's money, investing it and donating towards the Democratic Party for politics. And, they got all these houses in the Bahamas and doing all these weird things, and they got away with it. And that will cause a lot of people to be like, hey, see, look, this headline is all I needed to know. Cryptocurrency is a scam. Another situation was Voyager. So for anyone who was invested in Voyager and through that exchange and app, they, went under and had to file bankruptcy. And so did Celsius. Those were three of the biggest cryptocurrency scandals of the last year. They involved some really well-known investors and business people too. Mark Cuban was invested with the Dallas Mavericks with Voyager. Mr. Wonderful from Shark Tank was invested. Kevin O'Leary was invested in FTX. You had people like Tom Brady and a lot of other figures. Shaq was involved with FTX. So you had a lot of big figures. They had commercials. They had investments in sports teams. But then you ask yourself, like, this must be a scam if all of these scandals are happening. But first, we got to look at why did these scandals happen, right? So in the most simplistic form, cryptocurrency is so new that the lawmakers have not decided how to regulate it yet, right? So if you understand politics to at least some degree, we all know that politicians can be a little greedy. They can be trying to figure out how they can get some money off of it. So a couple of the things that's happening in cryptocurrency is like, it's this new thing that is away from the system. So this new financial system and technology had emerged outside of any of the government fiat systems, right? So the US didn't create it. Russia didn't create it. China didn't create it. It was created by this Satoshi Nakamoto, who is this anonymous figure, which there is a bunch of conspiracy theories about who that is or who it may be. I have no idea. My only thought is like, probably some government was behind it or some elite people. I don't know. But this happened. And with this being created in its own system, it was this living and breathing, not literally, but kind of financial organism growing. And it had gotten so large but the countries and the governments haven't decided how do we want to regulate it, right? Think of it this way. With your normal check, you go to work, whatever state you live in, whatever state, and then you got your federal taxes or whatever. The government has decided how much you're taxed, which tax bracket you're in, right? And some of us are in this system and don't. I bet there's people watching this, and no offense, you might not even know what tax bracket do I fall in. What is my percentage? If I have some capital gains outside of my normal job, right? Like a lot of us don't know how to do that, or we're learning or have learned recently. That's okay if you're in that position. But my point is, the rules and guidelines have been set out for your employer. So when you go to work, you know how many taxes are coming out. Now imagine this world in crypto where that has not yet been defined. And the US in particular has been dragging their feet on exactly how they want to do it. Now you could come up with all of your reasons or theories on why they're dragging their feet, but I'm only just dealing with the fact that they have dragged their feet. And when there is something that is not regulated, you will always have shady figures that are doing things outside of the box to try to make the most money because they're greedy. So some people over leverage their liquidity, like they didn't have enough money to back up the loans and things they were taking out or covering. And essentially what happened, as we're kind of in this conversation about the debt ceiling and inflation and the macroeconomic situation in the world, even if you don't know what all these terms mean, what you do know is that like the world is kind of messed up economically right now, and politicians and lawmakers themselves don't necessarily know how to get to the end or resolve these things. So crypto as an unregulated industry is something that had been affected negatively during this process. Now, what that means for a lot of people is that if you take some multi-billion-dollar companies, it means that they are not yet, they don't yet know. Fortune 500 companies don't know how to leverage NFTs yet. They don't know how to get involved with crypto yet. And they want to see the government set rules and guidelines before they invest their money or time. Now, that doesn't mean they haven't invested in the crypto organizations. Behind the scenes, there have been a lot of partnerships. We'll talk through some of that. But what it means is that you haven't seen this influx of money out there. There are trillions of dollars out there for investing in assets. When you look at different industries like, gold and stocks and things like that. As an example, Apple, we'll look at Apple. Apple is a multi-trillion-dollar company, and crypto itself is probably only 1 trillion. So you have this baby that is getting bigger, but people imagine a child that's 5 years old and nobody know how to raise it. It hasn't been trained yet. Everybody like, oh, stay away from little Bud, because little Bud, he 5 years old, but he'll cut you out because he hasn't been trained right. So my point is, when the government set some regulations and some guidelines around cryptocurrency, then you will see an influx of people likely to come in and invest at a larger scale. But here is the reason that I'm doing this video today. D. Riley, what up? DR Speaks. How you doing, brother? Good to see you, man. Thank you for checking out the show. One of the things that happens, that you'll see happen again is that people will kind of influx and get more involved. But here's why I'm doing this show. It is because while things are down, I believe that the structure, the bones of the foundation is being laid. And this is how the rich always get richer. The rich get richer because they are involved in early stages, or people who generate wealth are typically involved in an early stage of any process. Think about it this way. Savannah James is married to LeBron. LeBron is one of the richest athletes in the world. Well, Savannah didn't wait until LeBron was in his 3rd year in the NBA to try to like him. Savannah met LeBron before he was the LeBron that we know. And if you have ever read into their story at all, you will understand that she was one of the few people, even in his high school days, when she met him, like, who are you? And was not that impressed with who he was. And I'm led to believe, I don't know nothing about these people, if they have a good marriage or not. This is just an example that comes to mind of, like, I'm led to believe, though, that someone like LeBron can be with a Savannah. They can be married all these years because they found each other before they blew up. Much harder to find someone after you successful, got money. That's why you see a lot of single successful people. So let's take this same theory and relate it to business, and the fact that as it relates to investing in building any business, it is the early adopters and investors who are going to have the greatest returns in the long run. So this is why I'm trying to take a look at this and at least understand it now. All right. So I laid out why you might think cryptocurrency is a scam. Cool. Now I'm gonna make my point, give you 3 quick reasons for why I don't believe cryptocurrency is a scam. To give you just a little background, I've been involved in cryptocurrency since 2017 was when I was first introduced to it. Really did not know what I was doing at all, if I'm being honest. So I had learned by way of making mistakes, but I'm a person that likes to pick up things and understand and deconstruct them, like the nuts and bolts of like what's going on. So between, from 2017, 2018, I put a little bit of money, like I'm talking like a little bit of money. I don't have to get into amounts, but pretty much that went 90% down. I kept the money in there, but walked away. And then 2 years later in 2020-ish, 2020, 3 years ago, I happened to see some stuff on the news. I'm like, oh, Bitcoin is back. I looked and I made all my 90% that I had lost. It was all back there. And it was there since that day. I've been studying for the last 3 years. I put hundreds of hours into understanding this, been studying, investing, really looking into the nuts and bolts, following the partnerships almost every day for a matter of 3 years. And so I'm just trying to share a little bit of that knowledge. I don't claim to be an expert. I'm just a regular person who has picked up something and is learning, continuing to learn it, and trying to give back to the people that are connected to me in any kind of way, so that people don't miss out on these opportunities should they see it as an opportunity to be involved in. So that's my involvement in cryptocurrency. And, I've really kind of, in the last couple of years, I've done private sessions and sat with people and kind of taught them and laid out with several different groups of people, individuals. I've done all kind of little financial settings and sessions rather, and walk people through. So that's just so you at least understand, like, why would I listen to this guy and what he's talking about with cryptocurrency? What does he know? Not that I'm some expert, not that I'm some guru, but just that I am a regular person that has put in hundreds of hours and have sat with people and kind of put in the time to like lay out exactly what this is. And I've also lost money, made money, and kind of seen how it flows. So that's me. All right. Why is it not a scam though? That's what you really want to know. Gail, what up? What up, Pastor Gail? How you doing, brother? You don't seem like the kind of person that want to be called pastor all the time. And I don't seem like the kind of person that want to call somebody pastor all the time. So how you doing, Gail? God bless you, brother. All right. So the first reason I'm going to lay out as to why I don't believe that cryptocurrency is a scam is a really simple one. It's the growth trajectory. So if you look at just over time, and we're going to actually, let's do it. Let's actually like look at some, we're going to look at some charts real quick. Where I want to go. Let's go here. Let's go to some charts. All right. So this is coinmarketcap.com. You definitely got to check this out. Let me see how y'all seeing me. Okay. That's how y'all seeing me. Cool. All right. This is coinmarketcap.com. CoinMarketCap is pretty much like, this is where you could go to see all of the cryptocurrency. So let's go here. You'll see, this is a cool site. I'm used to looking at it on my phone, so please forgive me. All right, so the cool thing about this site is it'll tell you like right here, the global crypto market cap is $1.15 trillion. It's up 0.7% over the last day. So you have a quick snapshot of just, what is this cryptocurrency? What is the value? The total value of crypto as a whole is not even as much as Apple as a company. The reason that's significant is because that's how early we are. Even though this has been 10 years or 12 years, I think since 2011 or something, don't quote me on the date, Bitcoin was created. Like 12 years in is still very early. And that is also proof that people think is a scam, proof that you think is a scam. And here I am trying to convince you otherwise. Is also proof that this is a baby, which is a great thing for an investor. Someone like me, I like to find things early. Like I love finding things early and being a part of a journey with something. I'm going to be real with you. I'm not the kind of person that if something is already blown up or once it hit the news and everybody like, oh my God, have you heard about Bitcoin? It's like, I'm kind of really not into stuff like that when everybody else is following it. I'm more of a trailblazer than a follower of trends. So growth trajectory. Let me get back to my point. CoinMarketCap.com is a great way to look at it. So let's look at Bitcoin itself. right? So this is going to show you like the top 10 cryptos. You can see Bitcoin. The price today is $27,285.47 and changing every 5 seconds. You can see over the last hour it's up, over the last 24 hours. And then more importantly, I like to look at the last 7 days. Bitcoin is up 2.29% over the last 7 days. It is the also the largest cryptocurrency of them all. You feel what I'm saying? So you can see the market cap, you can see the volume over, see 9.1 billion in volume, 529 billion is the market cap. So you can start understanding like, okay, this is the value of Bitcoin. Now let's click Bitcoin and just take a look at it. Because the first reason that I'm trying to lay out to you that Bitcoin is not a scam is the long-term growth trajectory. So we just looking at like, hey, since this thing started, right? If it was a scam, scams, I could tell you a lot of times don't last that long before people figure out they're a scam. People don't continue to put millions to billions of dollars into something if it is a scam per se. Again, this is not financial advice, and I'm not saying that something is just simply not a scam because money is in it. I'm just making my case, right? I advise you to go and research on your own, but I'm trying to give you a starting point if you're new. And if you already know about crypto, this is just me kicking it with you at the level that you understand. And, being iron sharpening iron, sharpening iron, sharpening, I can talk. All right. So let's go to last year. Now, if you look at the last year, this has been a wild ride, right? You go back here on June 7th, 2022, the price was 31,000. The volume 30.24 billion. And then look right here. This is when people are like, oh, it's a scam, buddy. I was around, right? I've been following this stuff. Man, so let's go to November 9th. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna tell y'all something. It's easy to look back on the chart because you see the ups and downs, but I remember this day. I remember when everything dropped. And when it hit let me say this about investing. One of the most amazing things about investing is this. Whenever something goes, it went to 15, people said it was going to 10. When it was at 60, they said it was going to 75. So one of the things you learn about investing is that experts ain't even experts. You have to have educated research and development supporting your financial decisions. Because I'm telling you right now, when it was 15,800 back then, I thought it was going to 10 just like everybody else because that's what they were saying. And you get nervous and it's like, I don't want to buy none because of whatever. And then you go a couple months later and you could have doubled your money. Now, this is the most fascinating part of investing to me. If a person would have had the fortitude on November 9th to just buy one Bitcoin for $15,000, assuming they had it, by right now, just about a couple weeks ago, they would have been literally almost doubled. Right now, they'd be close to double. Like that's how quick you can make money. But that's not the entirety of the story. You have to understand the risk because just because it's not a scam doesn't mean it's not risky. We have to be able to understand how to critically think through investing in life and decisions in business. This is a faith and business podcast. Like we have to understand how to critically think as believers through these things, right? All right, so let's look at all. Woo, this is where it gets tricky, but I'm gonna make my point. Now let's go to the high points. My goodness, life was good for everybody who had a Bitcoin on November 8th, 2021. But my goodness. Now imagine the person who bought it in 2021 at 60,000, and right now in December of 2022, they were looking at $16,000. Look, I'm gonna tell you, like they thinking it's a scam, right? I'm telling you right now, you thinking it's a scam, right? But I love looking at the history. First and foremost, let's go all the way back. Let's go to June 2012, people. If in June 2012, this is amazing. 11 years ago, rather. One Bitcoin was $6.59. $6.59. So one Bitcoin, $6.59. let's say a person would have just bought, I mean, come on now, you could have bought 100 of them things. Let's just say you would have spent $659 and bought 100 of them things, right? Well, think about today, your 100 Bitcoins times 27,000, 2.7 million. Woo! But how hard is it in reality? How tough is it to have that much conviction and belief in something in 2012? Because look, you would have had to sit through all this. Yeah, $50 in 2013. That still ain't a lot. Okay. Wow, let's get here though. By 2014, just a couple years, your $6 Bitcoin was $664, which right there means your $659 investment is now worth $66,000. If you would have just been able to sit for 2 years with some conviction. Now, again, this is easy to look back at when you're looking at it in hindsight because we have the charts. But most people would have cashed out right there and took the 66,000. But what about the people? Ooh, I love this. Because then in 2015, now when it goes back down to only 246, you're thinking, I should have took out that money when I was at the top at 659. And this is in investing, you cannot be a short-term thinker. I'm not trying to draw out this point, but what I'm trying to get you to realize is that in investing, you cannot be a short-term thinker because the right decision in the short term is not always the right decision in the long term. I'm going to give you a little trick that for me, I literally use biblical principles and things that I'm taught as a Christian and a believer to guide me through financial stewardship and decisions. Now, I have not always been good at these things. I have not always had the most mature character, the most mature honor, respect, integrity, whatever words you want to use. But as I've grown as a believer, my goal is to continue to grow in those things every single day, to be better than I was yesterday, to be better than I was. So you might know me from 7 years ago and be like, oh man, he ain't whatever. Well, okay, I changed, I grew, I'm different. So at the end of the day, my point is, as a believer, I've learned to have a long-term outlook, right? Like I'm a believer, I believe in Jesus Christ and have accepted him as my savior because in the long term, I want to go to heaven. So even though today someone cannot have Jesus in their life and be living it up and have money and success, and maybe they invested in Bitcoin or whatever, and they have all these material things. And today it seems like the $600 investment, like, ooh, I'm living life. I got a bunch of girls, I got a bunch of cars and money, but I'm more so looking at the long term. Now let's look at this from an investment lens. In the long term, you have to be able to endure many ups and downs. But look at this. In 2019, it was $11,000. Some people probably thought it can't go higher, right? Here's the beauty of investing. Look at this. So now that it's gone to 58, now that it's gone here. Now let's bring ourselves to today. Today, it is $27,300 roughly. My point is, people will call Bitcoin a scam because 2 years ago, it was $60,000 and people lost all their money and it's $27,000. But what about, have they followed the trajectory? Life, okay, I want to kick it with y'all about life really quick to make this point, because I think we can learn a lot from a stock chart, okay? Josiah Hunter, what up, fam? Thank you for tuning in. What I love about growth trajectories like this is that although there are ups and downs, it is generally going up. So it's like the chart, right? If we go back to the chart, it's crazy. It's ups and downs, just like my life, but overall, the trajectory is up. Higher highs, higher lows, right? So it's like the low today at 27,000 was the low back here was 4,000. The low back here was 600. The low back here was $6. The low back here was 11, whatever. So we can learn a lot about life through investing and apply a lot of things of like, yo, I don't invest. I haven't invested the last couple years as some gamble, as some like, oh, I want to make a couple dollars. I'm greedy. I need $2,000. And one of the most important things, look, y'all, I want to say is that we have to, especially as believers, like investing is not about loving money in my mind. Being a good steward financially is not about loving money. It's actually the opposite. It's about actually taking control of your money. It is actually about being a good steward and having discipline and being able to have money saved up or make decisions that you're not just buying material things that do not go up over time. So at the end of the day, how many people take all their money when they get their the tax return, and they go buy a new car all the time, and that car depreciates in value, so it goes the opposite way. You feel what I'm saying? Brandon Andrews, what's up, fam? It drops, but it has new lows, not lower lows. Exactly. So the whole idea of investing, what I love about it is investing really supports a maturity as believers. It really supports you being financially mature. And this is one of the things that in church, the reason I believe in sound doctrine, and a lot of people in church, not everybody, I don't want you to think every church or pastor is after your money. That's not the case. But those, it becomes easier to sniff out the ones who are when you actually learn how to be a good financial steward of your own household. And then it's easier for you to look and be like, oh, this person kind of shady. They trying to manipulate me or promise me that if I give this amount of money, God is going to do this and all this. But like, yo, I've been a good steward over my finances. I need Jesus for spiritual reasons. It's not always about money. So one of the things when you take control of the finances in your life, you start being able to make decisions differently. Some of us, right? I've been guilty in the past. You are so financially unstable in your personal life. You have not taken responsibility, accountability, ownership of your own finances. So you're always in a position to look for a quick hustle, a quick nickel. And that always puts you in a vulnerable position, I can talk, where you are now trying to invest like it's the lottery. And so you're making bad decisions because you're emotional, because you want to make $1,000 tomorrow just so you can go blow it. That's not the people I'm talking to. I'm talking to the people who have a long-term outlook, who are looking to be financially responsible, who are looking to take ownership for themselves and to grow financially. And then you don't just always look at like when people, y'all got to understand, like, you know, I come from a community of people that if somebody get a $2,000 check, they lose their mind. Don't let somebody get 5,000 or up, and they treat it like it's the most amount of money in the world. And no disrespect, but I'm just saying we have to graduate. We have to grow beyond that, and we can grow beyond that. Like, we don't always have to be people who blowing all our tax money or looking for a quick nickel from somewhere. You could be somebody who takes time over time to make small decisions that are on the path to growth. All right, so I'm off that. D-Rock, what up, bro? Thank you, man. All right, so the growth trajectory is the first thing. I want to go to something else, though. Digital revolution. So the second reason that I believe that cryptocurrency is not a scam is because of the digital revolution that the world is in today. Yo, it's my pleasure, bro. For real, man. I love sharing this information with people. The digital revolution that the world is in today, first, I must say there are some concerning aspects of this. So I don't want you to take this episode as me fully endorsing everything that's happening in the world today, bro, because the world is wild. This is a wild world. There are some things happening digitally in the world that I really urge you to understand it so that you can make good decisions around it. So I don't want you to take my explanations as endorsements. So the digital revolution that the world is going in, we first have to just understand the growth of the internet. Right now, I am live streaming on YouTube and Facebook and Twitter or wherever else, right? All right. So, and I advise you, hey, please do subscribe to Inspire Guys People on YouTube. We release videos. I release videos every single day that are just like quick clips, encouragements, shorter versions of these long episodes, and then also these full episodes as well, which this is not really a podcast episode. This is just kind of a segment that I didn't name. So just the show, I guess. It's not an official episode. All right, so back to the point. The digital revolution in the world is really about like where the internet came from. So when you think about Web 1, so think 90s, early 2000s, Web 1 version of the internet was informational. That was just you being on the internet. You know, for those of us who old enough to have been around and seen the growth of the internet, or when it first came, not first came out literally, but when it was first kind of public was drawn to it, it really was just informational, like an encyclopedia. Like, oh, we no longer have to go to the Britannica encyclopedia. We can now search up information on the internet. It was like this crazy thing, the internet, right? I remember I had a teacher in like late elementary, earlier middle school. They were like, hey, you guys are going to have something called email. And I remember thinking, that's stupid. They literally gave us a piece of paper. It was like a flyer about Yahoo. And it's like, y'all are going to have something called email. Y'all are not going to like all write letters. Y'all are going to just send each other. Man, I'm telling you, I was looking like that is the dumbest thing. The dumbest thing I ever heard of in my life. That's also why it's important for us to think ahead, because things that seem stupid today, you will be doing tomorrow. All right. So the internet was really just informational at the first level. Web 2 of the internet, which we are operating in right now, is the social internet, right? So you went from the internet just being informational to people now actually being social, having avatars and profiles and websites and web. Look, y'all, I can't talk. I can talk. There's a reason I keep this mug nearby. You feel me? Okay, Jillian. So I wasn't the only one who thought the internet was dumb. I mean, email was dumb. I thought it was so stupid. So we went from informational to social, right? And when you think about the social over the last 10 years has really just grown into something crazy. 10 or 15 years, when you think about when Facebook first came out to what Facebook is today, here is the number one thing I want you to take away from this episode as it relates to digital. When we first came on the internet, there was a clear separation of who you were in real life versus who you were on the internet. Your internet profile was almost just like a, you know, it could in some ways a false advertisement, or like this idea of how you saw yourself. Here's my point. When people had websites like blackplanet.com or MySpace, it wasn't like your name. Your username was tall and handsome, you know, light-skinned, long-haired girl. Like the way that people presented themselves on the internet was not really their real selves. Not saying that them real selves, I can talk. Not saying that everyone is their real selves now, but I'm getting to a point of where we're going with Web 3. Web 2 has been this long 10-year growth period of being more and more integrated into your actual identity, your digital identity. That's a term you're going to hear more and more, digital identity. And that has become because in Web 3, the world is going away from your social media identity being some anonymous or pseudo-anonymous alias of of who you are, to it being you. And we hadn't had that before. And a lot of times in the world, like we don't take the time to realize what's happening. That's why you see social media scores or people now being canceled from things they say online. In the early days, you could say anything on Facebook. You could come on here and talk crazy about your job, and the HR people didn't know you were here, or nobody knew you were here. And now there's this integration in Web 3 where you're going from just being social on the internet to being identified on the internet. Now, there are some good things, some bad things, but this is a huge reason as to why I don't think cryptocurrency is a scam. Maybe the number one reason I don't think it's a scam, and that is because now people are living life more on the internet than they are in real life. That's just a fact. Whether you agree with it or disagree with it, there are people spending more time in the digital world than in real life. And with this digital revolution, I'm getting to my point as to why cryptocurrency is not a scam. It is because of the crypto technology provides a secure online digital currency. That is something that does not exist. When you send dollars through PayPal, that is not digital currency, right? A digital currency, I don't want to go into all the details of the technology and how it works with encryption and the security, But the blockchain is this decentralized public ledger, but it is all fully digital. It's transferred digital, right? And so what that means, in addition to that, the blockchain has given us the ability through NFTs to prove online ownership. I believe that NFTs, when we look back, are going to be one of the most, it's hard to say that now because now we got crypto, we got blockchain, we got AI, we got electric vehicles and all the sustainability stuff. So it's kind of hard to say that something is going to be the number one, but I'm just saying when I really look at it, I think NFTs will be something far beyond what people understand it to be today. And it is a simple reason why. If you're spending all your time on the internet, the government wants to know who you are on the internet. The government doesn't like you being a tall, light-skinned girl or a handsome bearded man at handsome bearded man, and they don't know who you are because you're talking crazy, and they don't want you, like, they want to control and regulate who you are in the digital world. And so there's going to be an increased and enhanced, I believe, I'm not an expert, I'm just a regular person, but I believe there'll be an enhanced effort to align and like really be able to identify who you are digitally, because as the world, Web3 is about bringing the internet into the world. We had our internet in the phones, we got the internet in computers. I believe, this is just speculation, you're going to start walking around and the internet is going to be integrated into the freeway. It's going to be integrated into the stores. And so the more that happens, the more there needs to be an alignment with who you are in real life and who you are in the digital world. So at the end of the day, what happens is NFTs allow us to prove things digitally. Okay, this is sometimes tough to explain, but I got a whole episode on this. When you think about, if you walk in my house and see a painting, you're in my house. So it is, it's my painting. Roughly speaking, I could have stole it. I'm in possession of it. It's mine. And even if somebody across the street has the exact same painting, you know that these are two duplicate. There's a difference. But today in the digital world, you can't prove that. You can now with NFTs, but prior to NFTs, you couldn't. If I screenshot a meme and sent it to you and said, I own this meme, this is mine, you'll be like, I screenshot that yesterday. You don't own that. My cousin sent me that. Which one is which? Who owns what, right? Without going deep into the depth of all the detail, NFTs allow us, it is an online signature where now I can literally show you, I own NFTs as an example. I can literally show you NFTs that I own and say, this is mine, and I can prove it on the blockchain. Now think about proof of ownership in the digital world as things become more digital. Real estate becomes more digital. Think about when you ever closed on a home or a property, you got to sign 1,000 papers. Your physical signature, you have to go and meet people to physically sign 1,000 papers, and then you get a deed, and you get paperwork to say this is mine. Ownership. Imagine in the future, the real estate industry will go NFTs. You'll be able to digitally prove ownership. And just like y'all like posting pictures of y'all house and showing off things that y'all own and pictures in the real world, you'll be able to show an NFT, a picture of your house, like, I own this house, this is my house, and people will be able to see, like, oh, he really or she really owns that NFT. And that all sounds amazingly crazy right now, but it actually is super simple and makes a lot of sense. I know, because I just said it. What up, Jackie? Looking forward to the May 2025 post when crypto is skyrocketing. I can say, listen, Jackie, I keep trying to tell y'all people. I'm trying to tell people. I'm trying to help them get ahead. But you are right. You are right. 2025, 2027, I think it's going to be interesting. NFTs in gaming are going to be crazy. All right. So real quick, I want to share this before I give my last point. Let's go back. I want to share my screen. So if we go back to, let's go back to here, to CoinMarketCap. And one of the things you'll see is that you could go to certain categories, right? So you can hit categories and find cryptos based on the category that they're in. I love that ability to do that. So that you might be a person who's like, are there any education cryptos or things like that? But I want to go back. Let's go metaverse, right? So let's look at the metaverse coin, and it shows you, look, the market cap of the metaverse, right? That shows you right there is $13.8 billion. So at the end of the day, you know, that's not even that crazily huge. And the metaverse went crazy last year. Now I'm going to show you one that I like. I don't really like to show stuff that I like. I'm going to give you one of the things that I like as an investment. I'm not advising you to go invest in this at all on any level. This is ranked the 102, so it's the 102nd largest crypto of all of them. This is called Engine Coin, ENJ. All right, now again, if you look at it, it's around this 33-cent mark. It's been there for a while. If we go over the last year though, it was 68 cent. I had it down here at 24. Then, I actually bought a little more down here. I'm gonna be going under a certain point. I'm like, I'm gonna get some. So now we at 33 cent. But if you go to all, then you see at one point this was a $3.85. I want to say it actually hit $4. It hit closer to four at some point. But this is a $3 to $4 token at its height. And when you look at, so one of the things about this site that I like is you can kind of go down, you can see the news that's happening with these cryptos, but you can also go to their website and their Twitter actually too. You can go to their Twitter, but you go to their website, engine.io. The reason I like Engine, and again, I am not telling you to invest in Engine, but it's worth looking at in your own time. But the reason I like Engine as just one that I like is because throughout the bear market, they have continued to develop. So this is like a gaming NFT kind of organization. And look, you can scan right here to get their wallet and get your first NFT, right? So engaging in crypto is also a way to learn about it, right? You see all the people they work with. What are NFTs? So you go to this site as an example on your own time. We're not going to do it now. You can read through and understand what are NFTs, right? How do they work and things like that. And then you can go and get started with NFTs and kind of work through this on your own. Again, this is just me telling you, like, this is a way that you can kind of go about this. Now, they have an ecosystem. They're building the metaverse. That's their goal. They're building the metaverse. And these are some of the projects that they work with today. And you will look through here and see there's a lot of games and things that actually exist today in crypto. So, all right, let's stop sharing that. I want to go now to, what do I want to show y'all? Ooh, I know what. I want to show y'all Flow. Let me pull this up, then I'll go back to sharing my screen. I want to show y'all Flow. Flow's an interesting one to me. So let's go back to sharing. Flow is a very interesting crypto to me. This is one that, like, I'm actually not invested in this. I have been before. This is one that I think I might look back and regret not being invested in. So Flow is like, let's go to their website. It's only 73 cents right now. At its height, back in 2021, it was $34, $35. So you can kind of see if this gets back there, if you buy it at 73 cents and hold it and it gets back there or more. Now, there's no promise it can get there. I'm not telling you to do that, but I'm just telling you, if you research this and believed in it, then this could be an excellent investment potentially at 73 cents because you're buying something at 73 cents. Let's just say if you want to buy 10,000 of these things, well, maybe you don't want to spend $7,300. Let's just say 1,000. $730. Like, you spend $730, you own 1,000 of these, and you sit on them. And if they go back to $34, right? You got $34,000. All right, that's just how investment works. You could also lose your $730 as well, which is the risk of investment and why you want to be educated before you get into something. But this is getting to my point of why I don't believe cryptocurrency is a scam. It's because of how fully developed this stuff is. Now, we're going to go to Flow's website, okay? Flow.com. This Web3, remember, Web3. We just talked about Web3. We just talked about, see, some of us we don't know this stuff is here, is happening. This is Web3. And their goal is to make Web3 mainstream ready, utility driven. I can talk. But let me tell y'all, this is, oh my goodness, dude. I want you to look at mainstream apps powered by Flow. That's the Instagram logo. Ticketmaster, I know them. Mattel, that's the toys. NBA, heard of them. NFL, heard of them. Flow is literally partnered with the NFL. They're partnered with the NBA. And I know this because I own some of the online trading NFTs. But you listen, y'all. If this is a scam, listen, which maybe it is the biggest scam ever. I want you to get to, let's see, where ecosystem. Let's deny these. Where's the NFL? They got so much stuff. I'm looking for the NFL. It is called something, and I may not be able to do it right now because I can't think of it. Marketplace stats. All right, so you're gonna have to go on this on your own time. I'm sorry. Man, it is on community. No, I wanted to go to their NFL business is very interesting to me because, and I don't want to go to the other thing because I don't want it to mess around and be my login. I don't want y'all to see my stuff. Let's see what happened if I click. Can I click this? No, I can't. All right, so let's go off of this. You gotta go to that on your own time. My point is this. Oh, y'all don't see the flow? Did y'all not see the flow, Malloy? I was sharing my screen. Oh, you know what it was? Let me go back. Oh, my bad. My bad. Thank you for telling me that. Flow. Here we go. Let me go back to that. Here's flow.com. So I didn't realize it don't change when I click something else. So this is the flow.com Web3 mainstream, right? And then here's all the apps that they're partnered with. So it's telling you and showing you, like, that's the Instagram logo, Ticketmaster, Mattel, NBA, NFL. Like, you see, these partnerships already exist. And what's really interesting about it to me is that people don't know this, because the NFL, the NBA one, I can't think of what it's called, and I have it. It's not on my mind. But the point is they have these partnerships that exist today. And that goes into my final point as to why cryptocurrency is not a scam. And this is a simple one, y'all. Follow the money. Because if it's a scam, then why would some of the largest financial institutions in the world be just now integrating them? I'm going to give you an example right here. We're going to share a screen. Let's go. Fidelity. This is on Fidelity. You can go to fidelity.com right now on your own and see that Fidelity has a whole now have integrated ways into crypto. Explore the growing number of crypto opportunities at Fidelity, from crypto trading to EFTs and more. So here's the thing. Fidelity, which is one of the ways that folks buy their stocks and invest and get their financial advice, they are now getting people into crypto. And I would ask a question of, if cryptocurrency was a scam, why would someone like Fidelity be now integrating it into their whole system? But we know crypto. You could say we were crypto curious early on. In 2014, Fidelity began mining Bitcoin. Ooh, I bet you didn't know that Fidelity was a Bitcoin miner. By 2018, we launched our first crypto service, Fidelity Digital Assets, an institutional custody and trading platform for digital assets. As crypto evolves, we're committed to unlocking new investment opportunities for our clients. Ooh, crypto in the workplace. Fidelity is pioneering ways to help 401k plan sponsors meet the demands of an evolving workforce. The Digital Assets Account, DAA, is a first of its kind opportunity that gives employees exposure to digital assets within their retirement plans. People, if this is a scam, I know it's easy. I know it's easy to think it's a scam because the moment we see the moment I see Bitcoin investing in somebody's bio, I think they're a scammer. And I'm not telling you that they not, because I don't trust nobody to put it in their bio. I'm just, don't put it in your bio, fam, until it get more mainstream. I don't trust you. So I'm not telling you to blindly trust people, but what I'm telling you is that if this was a scam, you would not see these type of organizations integrating it. Remember what I talked about earlier with regulation. You won't see the large dollars coming in through institutions until the regulation is there. But what's happening behind the scenes through these low times in this bear market, these organizations are building a structure that people can later then get involved into. I'm not telling you to invest in crypto. I'm at least telling you to learn about it and educate yourself, which is why I'm doing these type of podcasts. And that's kind of what you're doing right now, is educating yourself. So my point is that the more that we can learn about it right now and not be so reactive to headlines. I am not a headline investor, because by the time it hit a headline, the people that's in it every day already done did what they doing. I'm just going to tell you right now, by the time stuff hit the headline and be talking about whatever, I've already made my decisions. I've already invested. I'm sitting still. Now I may be selling, maybe I'm picking up more, but I already have a base and at least an understanding of what this is. And even if you never invest $1, I think it is to your advantage to understand what cryptocurrency is as it integrates more and more into your everyday life. And the way that the example I have is, again, I thought email was dumb when it first came out. I thought Facebook was stupid. And here I am live streaming right now on Facebook. I remember literally when Facebook came out, you had to have a college email in order to sign up. And I'm like, this is stupid. It's only college. This is dumb. But at the end of the day, here we are today. What if I was smart enough at the time, wise enough, researched, educated enough at the time to say, this internet thing is going to be big. This Facebook thing is going to take over the world. I'm about to invest $2,000 into Facebook. I'm going to take a refund check from college and put it in Facebook. You would literally be a millionaire now. And that's easy to say now, but it's when the opportunity is staring you in the face that you have to overcome laziness and being a follower, this mentality of being a follower and listening to everyone else and waiting until someone else does something to make a decision. I'm not telling you to invest in cryptocurrency. I'm also letting you know that there are risks involved with any type of financial investing, and you should see a financial advisor, which I am not. I'm just a regular dude that came from the inner city of Detroit and grew and learned and educated myself and made a couple things happen. And here I am today talking about cryptocurrency, but I'm not telling you to invest. At the very least, I'm telling you to learn. Jackie, what up? She says they want us to think it's a scam now so that when it increases, we can invest in and they could take our money. It's invest in psychology, invest now. I would have to agree with that. That is how it works. The psychology of investing is so anti-poverty, because people who are in poverty and you're looking, and I'm talking a poverty mindset where you're always looking for a lick, a come up. Like those are the kind of conversations people having. I've been out of that kind of thinking for a long time, for years. I'm not looking for get rich quick. I'm not looking for, that's a scam to me. Get rich stuff, buying hot stuff, reselling it. Like, I'm not into that. But if you can show me some technology, some real resources, some information, then I'm just making a decision as an investor and saying, hey, I think this is going to be something. And that's what I'm saying publicly. I've been saying it before, but I'm saying it publicly. I think this thing is going to be crazy huge, but I think it's different than what you think today. Is going to evolve. Just like when TVs first came out, they wouldn't mount them to walls. They have floor model TVs. This thing is going to continue to evolve and grow and become something deeper. In some ways, that concerns me, if you want me to be honest, as a lot of the digital integration into our world concerns me. I think there's a lot to watch out for and be educated for those reasons as well. But it also represents a lot of opportunities if you can find areas that you are comfortable with morally, financially, whatever it may be, in investing your money. But I think in being a good steward financially, this is part of learning and figuring out, how do I overcome the poverty mindset that is constantly looking for a handout, that is constantly looking for a get rich quick scheme or something. Like, look, I tell people all the time, charity was not created to create wealth. So like, charity is much needed. I'm a fan of charity. We talked about charity on this show. I think you should support charity organizations with trustworthy leadership and look into those. Like, anything you're doing with your money, you should really be responsible with. But I've been a recipient of charity. I am pro-charity, but charity serves a purpose to be charitable for. Like, if I go get a meal tonight with charity, like, that's that one meal. But charity isn't created to feed me for the rest of my life. So it's okay to need charity today. You needed a handout. You needed I've needed a scholarship. I've needed funds for college, whatever. But at some point, I had to grow myself and say, yo, I'm not going to sit back and wait, because charity isn't going to make me wealthy. Charity isn't going to leave a legacy. Like, so at the end of the day, those things are to serve a purpose to get you to a point. But if you have the ability, you making money on your own, like you can invest. Some people, like it's a lot of people that smoke weed out here. Well, I'm looking like, man, some of y'all high and can't afford it. Can't afford to be high. You spending all kind of money on weed that, and you can be investing that. Like people have habits that they're supporting. So you have the money. That's why I talked about the weed. I'm talking about something to say you have the money. Don't tell me you don't have the money. You got on J's, you got on Yeezys, you got the weed. It ain't easy. If you touch you, then I sneezy. If you bless you, it was me. Anyway, y'all know I get the rapping. One more thing, and I'm out of here. I want to show y'all one more thing. To one more point. It's not just Fidelity. PayPal is another organization. You heard of PayPal, right? PayPal has a whole integration now with crypto. This is from their website. And go to home, my wallet, cryptocurrency. Using PayPal as a funding source within your external crypto wallet. They have a partnership with MetaMask, which is one of the external crypto wallets that people can use to house their crypto and also make purchases and swaps. And now you can transfer, to PayPal. And I'm not going to get into all the details of that, but the point here is just to tell you that, like, if this is a scam, then man, like a lot of these well-known financial organizations and businesses are definitely putting a lot of their resources towards figuring this thing out. And I guess my point that I'll sum up with is that if these large organizations are doing that, to Jackie's point, they're doing that for a reason, because by the time you get on board, they done made their money. So I'm at least urging you to continue to learn about crypto. I'll do some more videos about crypto. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this and more business topics. I really want to start diving into some business topics in this way, where we kind of deep dive. And I know that's not for everybody. Everybody is not patient. They don't have the attention span. But I'm the kind of person that, like, if you know me, this is what I do. And I like to challenge those things and like push people towards becoming greater, because at the end of the day, we got an attention span to watch 20 episodes of some Netflix show and series. And we put a lot of effort and energy and time invested into things that do not produce for our long-term well-being in our lives. And I think it's about time for us to start really taking ownership and being stewards of our own finances in the way that Joseph was a steward over the finances that Pharaoh put him over in the kingdom. And he leveraged those things. It was the wheat that he saved during the bad times, during the famine, that gave him, like, during the good times, that he had for the famine. And some of us, we get to the good times and we waste. And then things go bad, and we're constantly in this reactive cycle of poverty and needing and wanting and poverty. And we worship things that we want. We use things as status symbols to prove that we have something that we don't have. And so we chase cars and clothes and money, and we overspend on things, and we have not built our base. We have not actually focused on our foundation. And I just believe, like, yo, I'm from the hood. I've been around. People have money. It's not that you broke. Everybody living in poverty ain't broke. They just spend too much. Poverty is not always a sign that you don't make enough. Sometimes it is because you just spend too much. And I had a conversation with some friends last week, and the question of, like, do you think you deserve something? Like, we were talking about cars. Like, you think you deserve this, a Range, a Porsche? I'm like, oh, you don't deserve nothing. You deserve what you work for. Like, at the end of the day, like, the entitlement is what we have to get away from. Because if I tell myself I deserve a Bentley, and then the moment I get $300,000, I spend it on a Bentley, but then, like, I don't have nothing up. Because I convinced myself that I deserve it, I spent everything I had on it. So look, we got to fight poverty. Hopefully you enjoyed this show. Again, please share it, like, comment, subscribe to Inspire Guys People on YouTube, and tell me leave comments. Tell me what type of topics you want to hear, and share this with a friend. I appreciate y'all. Y'all go out there and have an amazing